When we had you on back in June, one of the points you made in terms of these potential tariffs was that Evenflo is in a position to mitigate those risks where car seats are concerned, but that production for strollers is a different beast. Given the fact that tariffs on those types of products have been pushed back to December, how are you thinking about that now?
Well, thanks for having me, Morgan. First of all, on car seats, let me update that a little bit. At the time we spoke about my supply chain, working very closely with suppliers to mitigate the impact of the potential tariffs and limit the cost increases we'd see to the U.S. consumer. What's actually happened, though, is with the implementation of September 1st tariffs has caused us some complications now. So we actually pay 15% on products that we bring in to help support our production in Piqua, Ohio. But yet, if you bring in a full car seat, you actually don't pay a tariff on it. So interestingly, now as an American company, we're disadvantaged because of the tariff situation. So we've got to work through those issues. On strollers, we're still hoping to get an accommodation before the December 15th tariff goes into effect.
So in terms of the car seats and the fact that there are components that are getting tariffed right now, what does that mean in terms of costs? Is that something the company absorbs, or are you pushing that out to consumers in the form of price hikes?
Yeah, we're trying very hard to absorb it. We're looking at every opportunity we can. I started this morning with a 6:30 meeting with a global team to look at a variety of things that we're considering. So we're really trying to make sure that we don't pass down to the American consumer, trying to limit it as much as possible.
You're right in the midst of it, it seems, with you got a factory in Tijuana, one in Ohio you mentioned, and I think something like 9 in China. So between NAFTA and the unraveling of that, and then the trade tensions between the U.S. and China, a lot of challenges. Longer term, as you're planning what to do with where things are manufactured, do you expect anything to be different in 5 years?
That's a good question. We're certainly looking at alternatives. Everybody's talking about Vietnam. Certainly we're considering that. But we also think the tariffs are going to be something that over time is probably going to work themselves through. So we don't want to rush to make any changes unless we truly understand the landscape. And I think working through the tariffs is going to be the first challenge for us.
Evenflo sells products on Amazon. There have been a number of reports over the months that Amazon's been pushing back on vendors that have been looking to increase prices due to tariffs. What's your experience been?
Well, all major retailers want to make sure that they do the best they can to protect the consumers, and we work with them. Amazon's no different than the other partners that we have. We understand their position, we respect it, and we're doing everything we can to mitigate the impact to the American consumer.
I believe your parent, Good Baby International, is based in Hong Kong. Is that right?
That's correct. Actually, Shanghai. We're traded on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. Okay. So how do the tensions, if at all, happening between Hong Kong and mainland China affect your ability to operate the broader business? And I guess I'm talking about your parent, which is a layer or two above you. Yeah, we've seen absolutely no implications so far. It's business as usual. As far as the U.S. is concerned, as I mentioned a few weeks ago, Chairman Song gives us the latitude to make the decisions we need. So certainly we use components coming from our factories in China, but the Hong Kong-China tensions have not impacted the business at all at this point.
And John, lastly, I just want to get your take on the health of the consumer here in the U.S. I mean, certainly unemployment remains low. You've got gas prices that are low. You now have mortgage rates that are low and spurring more refinancings right now. What is your expectation for consumer spending here in the U.S., and how is it affecting Evenflo?
Yeah, we've seen demand continue to be strong. We're fortunate and we're a regulated industry, so there's a requirement that families have car seats for children. So that helps us stay a little bit above any kind of consumer upset. But so far, we've seen demand be very strong.